guys, today I'm going to show you 3 of my favorite resistance band upper chest exercises. So we're going to be focusing on that upper pec, and we're going to be doing some flies and a couple of pressing maneuvers. So stick around and I'll walk you through them. The first exercise we're going to go through is a low anchored resistance band fly. So what you're going to need is a low anchor point, something close to the floor. And I personally love to have anchors that are wide apart. And the reason why I like that is because when we add our bands to them, you're gonna anchor one band to each anchor. And the function of the chest muscle is basically this big fan pattern muscle. You got 2 pecs, right? And all they're responsible for is taking your humerus and going from the outward position to the inward position. So as you move this close, you can feel that chest muscle contract. And to hit different areas of that chest muscle, you can see it's this big fan pattern. That's what it looks like. To hit the center of this chest, obviously it's just gonna be a high or a mid chest height anchor point. And then if you wanna target the upper chest, all you have to do is have a low anchor point. And the other thing is, you want that direction of the force to be pulling against the muscle contraction. So the muscle contraction is bringing it in this way. So we want our force to be pulling us out that way. And then to hit the upper chest, we want it to be pulling us towards the floor. So when we go through this exercise, we're gonna be coming up into that squeeze position. And you can see, you'll feel that upper chest muscle engaging when you get to that top and really squeeze the rep. So now I like to use clench band handles on this because it makes it way more comfortable, and it's a lot easier to stack bands when you start to get heavy. So to set this up, obviously it's just 2 bands. Pop in your clench band handles on both sides. So there's one, here's the other one. And then you want to get yourself centered between these 2 anchor points. And then you want to step out far enough so that you're getting tension at the very bottom of this rep and it's pulling you into that fully extended position. I like to stagger my stance to get some balance here, pull my core in tight, and then I'm keeping my arms like almost all the way straight. I don't want to lock them straight, but they're like 95% into the straight position. And then just pull up, and you want to be squeezing with those pec muscles, right? Pulling that band up and a big squeeze at the top. And I always try to touch my biceps to my pec muscles at the very top of that rep. That's when you'll really feel that good squeeze. And this is a great upper chest exercise. Now, if you want more resistance, you can step further away from the anchors. Less resistance, you go a little bit closer to the anchors. But remember, you don't want to go too close because you need to have tension at the bottom of that rep. Another variation that you can do if you don't have 2 anchors that are about arm's width apart, you can use a single anchor, and you could do a single arm fly. So what that's gonna do is you're gonna get a little bit more core engagement and your balancing muscles, your stabilizer muscles, because you're gonna have some rotation that you'll be fighting against. So you won't be able to go as heavy, but one thing that's really cool that you can do with this is you can get into that same position as we were before. We want that force pulling out and down so that we can target this upper chest muscle. And then when we contract, we can actually go a little bit beyond center to really get that upper chest muscle fully contracted and firing. And that's how you do the single arm version of this fly. Exercise number 2, we are going to be doing decline push-ups. Why would we do decline push-ups? Because in a regular standard push-up, that's basically going to be targeting that center chest area, right? Because we're pushing straight out against the floor and our feet are pretty much flat on the ground. With a decline push-up, our arms are now going to be more at this inclined angle relative to the floor. So that is just like that incline fly. It's going to be targeting more of this upper chest muscle. Now, how much decline do you actually need? I would say start with if you're weak at push-ups or just getting started, you can start with just a small amount of decline, and then as you get better, kind of increase that decline as you go. I prefer somewhere between 20 and 24 inches for your box height. And to set this up, it's pretty easy and to use bands. You don't have to use bands. You can start by just doing a regular body weight decline push-up, but as you get stronger, I'll show you exactly how to add bands. So what to do, basically wrap that band right around the small of your back. You want to get it kind of up as high as you can so that it's just under those shoulder blades. And then you're going to put your feet up on this box. So you got one foot, pivot forward, get that other foot up there, get your hands about shoulder width apart, and then you're going to drop that butt down to get in a nice flat plank position. And then you're dropping down to the floor, touch your nose to the floor, keeping that core pulled in tight. Big squeeze and drive with those chest muscles. You should feel that full contraction of the chest muscle at the top, and again, forcing those biceps to go into your pecs. That's that cue to help engage those pecs at the top. And you can just crank out the reps. I like to keep them nice and slow and controlled with a slow negative and then a big squeeze at the top. Then when you're done, one leg down per time, and that is how you do the decline push-ups. Last exercise, we're going to be doing an incline chest press with a 41-inch band and a pair of clenched band handles. And to set this up, my favorite way, so I've tried a bunch of different ways. You can do this standing. You've probably seen other videos where it's anchored down to the floor and they're doing a chest press, or just, one guy I've seen do it with standing on the band and then doing something like this. But I find that all of those variations just get way too much delt engagement, and that's mostly because the angle of the band is like, basically when you get into that pressing position, this band is actually pulling your shoulder into an internal rotation. So you have to fight to externally rotate it to get it into the right position, and then you're literally just firing up your shoulders the whole time. So I've done a lot of experimentation, and I've found something from an incline press standpoint that kind of works. It's not amazing, but it will get you decent chest engagement without over engaging those delt muscles. So to set this up, grab your clenched band handles, and you always put it on the inside of the band, one on each side, and then I rotate it like this, grab onto it so that the band comes down to my wrist, and then I swing it around my back, grab it here. So you'll notice the band comes to my wrist on both sides. That way I have nice clearance here for my hands. And then what we're gonna do is get this thing up into as high a position as you can on those shoulder blades. And now you can do this standing, so you get like a staggered stance and then fire yourself into these upward angled chest presses. But I find that I still get a little bit too much shoulder engagement. It's gonna be different for everybody because your geometry of your bone structure and everything is different. My favorite way to do these is on an incline bench. So you basically set it up the same way and then get on your incline bench. This is like a 45-degree incline. And what I do is I lean back and then I work this thing up even higher into that small of my back, because we want these bands to be basically inside of our arms. And then I'll arch my shoulder a little bit, or I'll squeeze my shoulder blades together to get a little bit of an arch in my back. And I found that gets me the best angle for really good engagement. And remember, we're going down to the point where the tension just starts to get a little bit less, and then squeezing it back up, squeezing those chest muscles together on the way up, and then trying to touch your biceps to the chest, to the pecs, and then letting it back down. Exhale on the way up, squeeze, inhale, and control it on the way down. And that is my favorite way to do the incline resistance band chest press. So I hope you enjoyed my 3 favorite upper chest movements. I encourage you to throw those into your workouts. Give them a try. Let me know which one is your favorite. If I had to pick a favorite, it would probably be the flies, because for some reason, these resistance band flies are like by far the best flies that I've ever done. Aside, like dumbbells, cable machines, regular machines, these still stack up at the top of the list because of that progressive resistance that increases as you stretch the band. So if you like this video, be sure to smash that like button. If you want to see more of this content, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you'll get notified every time we post new content. And if you need any of the bands and accessories shown today, we'll link them in the description below. And all you need to do is head over to clenchfitness.com and we'll hook you up. And thank you for watching.